For thousands of years, grains have been the backbone of civilizations. They became symbols of abundance, safety, normalcy. But as modern science started poking around inside food, something interesting happened. When you look closely, you find that not all grains behave the same inside the body. Are wheat and rice genuinely as good for your health as we've always believed?
This video is made for educational and informational purposes only.
You're sitting down for a regular meal. Maybe some rice, maybe a couple of chapatis, the same stuff you've eaten your whole life without thinking twice. These grains are part of your routine, part of your culture, part of your comfort. But here's a question that slips into your mind for the first time. Are wheat and rice genuinely as good for your health as we've always believed? Or have we just been following tradition without ever looking deeper? That curiosity is where this whole journey begins. For thousands of years, grains have been the backbone of civilizations. They helped humans settle, build communities, and survive tough climates. Rice fields shaped Asia, wheat fields shaped Europe and America, and together these grains shaped our plates. They became symbols of abundance, safety, normalcy. But as modern science started poking around inside food, something interesting happened. The story of healthy grains turned out to be a lot more complicated than we imagined. Suddenly, what we once assumed was harmless began to look like something we should understand better. When you look closely, you find that not all grains behave the same inside the body. A big part of the confusion today comes from the way our grains are processed. Take wheat, for example. Whole wheat in its natural form is rich in fiber, minerals, and B vitamins. But most people don't eat whole wheat daily. They eat refined wheat, white flour stripped of its fiber and nutrients. And once that fiber is gone, your body tends to digest it much faster, which research suggests can lead to a quicker rise in blood sugar for many people. Some people report feeling bloated, sluggish, or tired after wheat-heavy meals. While individual responses vary, it's worth paying attention to how your body reacts and speaking with a healthcare professional if symptoms persist. Add gluten sensitivity or celiac disease to the mix, conditions a doctor can help identify, and the picture becomes even more complex. If you've ever wondered why you feel strange after bread or roti, you're definitely not alone. Rice has its own story. Brown rice, the whole version, packs fiber and minerals like manganese, selenium, and magnesium. White rice, the kind most of us love, loses most of that goodness in the polishing process. Yes, it's often enriched, but without fiber, it may be digested more quickly, which for some people, depending on portion size and overall diet, can result in a faster blood sugar response. It's not bad, but it's not something your body handles slowly or calmly. And then there's a lesser-known consideration. According to the FDA and food safety researchers, rice can absorb arsenic from soil and water at higher levels than many other crops. Levels found in typical diets are generally considered low risk, but food safety authorities do suggest rinsing rice thoroughly and using extra water while cooking as a simple precaution. Still, for many families, rice is comfort, culture, and daily fuel, and it continues to be a staple. This is where curiosity naturally takes you beyond the familiar. What if there are grains that digest more easily, offer more nutrients, and don't cause those energy crashes? That's where ancient grains come into the picture, grains that existed long before modern farming methods. Among them, one tiny grain from Ethiopia has been stealing attention: teff. Teff is almost unbelievably small, think poppy seed small. Yet inside this tiny grain is a nutrient profile that makes nutritionists raise an eyebrow. It's naturally gluten-free, which already makes it attractive for people with gluten issues, but its real strength lies in what it carries. Studies suggest teff is notably high in calcium and iron compared to many common grains, and it contains a good amount of protein, including lysine, an amino acid many grains lack, and both omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. And then there's a notable surprise. Teff contains small amounts of vitamin C, which is uncommon among grains, and has been noted in nutritional analyses. Combine all of this with its low glycemic index, and it's easy to see why researchers are interested in teff's potential role in supporting steady energy and metabolic health, though more studies are ongoing. Scientists won't claim a direct cause without more research, but the nutritional logic is hard to ignore. Teff digests slowly, fuels steadily, and nourishes deeply. This discovery makes you look at your own plate differently. It doesn't mean you need to abandon wheat or rice, but it does open your eyes to how much variety is out there. And Teff isn't alone. Quinoa brings complete protein. Buckwheat is rich in antioxidants. Millet is gentle on digestion and grows even in tough climates. Barley supports gut health with beta-glucan. Oats keep you full longer. Each grain has a personality, a history, and a unique effect on the body. The more you mix and match, the more diverse your nutrition becomes. The good news is these grains aren't rare treasures anymore. You can walk into stores like Whole Foods or Sprouts in the US and find teff flour sitting quietly on a shelf. You can step into an Ethiopian market and get the real deal. You can open Amazon or online grocery stores and order quinoa, millet, teff, buckwheat, or anything else that catches your attention. As long as you choose the whole grain versions, your body gets the full package of nutrients. And here's something fascinating happening behind the scenes. Scientists around the world are studying how grains interact with our gut bacteria, how fiber shapes digestion and immunity, and how ancient grains might fit into modern diets more effectively than heavily processed ones. Some researchers are even exploring ways to grow grains more sustainably or develop varieties with higher nutrients or lower allergens. Grains aren't just food anymore, they're a subject of innovation. So when you compare wheat, rice, teff, oats, barley, quinoa, or millet side by side, it becomes clear that every grain has strengths, and not all grains behave equally in the body. Wheat gives you good nutrition when eaten whole. Brown rice is gentle and gluten-free. Teff is incredibly nutrient-dense. Quinoa is a powerhouse for protein. Oats and barley help your gut. Millet thrives in harsh climates and provides steady energy. To choose grains that align with your body for eating them. Small habits make a big difference here. If a pack says whole grain, you're on the right track.
If you find yourself feeling sluggish or uncomfortable after refined grain meals, experimenting with whole grain alternatives can be a good starting point. Though if symptoms are frequent, consulting a nutritionist or doctor is always a smart step.
If you want better energy, more fiber, or improved digestion, rotating grains can help more than you expect.
And if you suspect gluten may be affecting you, the most reliable step is to consult a doctor or registered dietitian. Self-diagnosing gluten sensitivity isn't recommended, as proper testing provides clarity and the right guidance.
What you want to avoid is relying too heavily on refined grains, white bread, white rice, sugary cereals, and pastries. They don't offer much nutrition, and they don't keep you full the same way whole grains do.
And if gluten is a concern, ignoring persistent symptoms without seeking medical advice isn't ideal. A healthcare professional can help identify whether gluten is truly the issue and what steps are appropriate for you.
A little awareness goes a long way. In the end, the journey through grains is really a journey through your own habits and how your body responds to them. Wheat and rice have fed the world for generations, and they still can be healthy choices when eaten in whole, unrefined forms. But grains like teff, quinoa, millet, and buckwheat show us that nutrition doesn't have to be limited to the same two staples we grew up with. There's a whole world of grains waiting to be explored, each one offering something different. And when you listen to your body and choose a mix of whole, nutrient-rich options, you get the best of everything: energy that lasts, digestion that feels lighter, and meals that nourish you far beyond tradition.
This video is for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. Always seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider regarding any medical condition or treatment.